Okay, so space is made of atoms too, right? It's made of atomic energy too, right? Okay, so now, so if space is made of atomic energy, then makes sense that if Allah would have allowed the chaos to ensue in the heavens, then heaven, that would threaten heaven too, right? With all the negativity. Look at all the negativity doing to the earth, and that is exactly why that the negative outcast creature, the jinn, whom Adam, not jinn, Adam, but Cain, the one called cannibal, right? Constantly eating people, looking for positive, looking for DMT. That's why he's always eating people, trying to get the DMT. That's why they do what they do to the children with the adrenal growth. They're always trying to get the DMT, right? Because, and that's why they try to hang black people, kill black Hebrew Israelites, and I'm using Hebrew Israelite, well, people of Afro-Kemetic people, okay? And all of us are Afro-Kemetic, right? Okay, so because we Afro, as in Hebrew, I mean from of the mother, the Afro, right? The nappy-haired ones, right? You're from the nappy-haired ones, right? And nappy represents the energy as it's crunched, right? Okay, as it begins to rapidly uh, uh, not vibrate, but yeah, as the frequency begins to get faster and faster and faster, right? Okay, so it creates the nap, right? Okay, now, so anyway, so, where were we at? Okay, so, oh, so they eat that, they become cannibals to try to get the DMT, because without the DMT, look what they couldn't think as cavemen, right? Cavemen and women, they couldn't think, right? Okay, so anyway, so when I forgot how I got there. Um okay, so that's why they're always trying to destroy the Hebrew the Afro-Kemetic people, right? Because of their spiritual ability, right? And Cain is always threatened by that, just as he was threatened by his brother, right? Abel, because Abel was able. He was able to think. Cain wasn't able to think, right? And that's why he was constantly, from what they say, his sacrifices to, the Creator was rejected. So they say, right? Okay, um, now again, that's not to say that everything they say in Christianity is a lie, okay? However, it has been changed to fit the narrative, to accommodate the narrative of, let's say, the rest aristocratic homosexual agenda, right? Okay. Now again, I'm not trying to offend anyone. I'm just not, because I know how I would feel if someone were to talk bad about Islam. I know how I would feel, but I'm saying this only so that you will, yes, it has a shock value, but just as it has a shock value that, Christ wasn't, the true Christ was black, was a Hebrew Israelite, right? With deeply rich melanin, right? Because he need that DMT. You need that DMT, right? To connect with, to deal with the higher consciousness, right? Um, and to maintain a stable mind, right? Okay, a stable nervous system, a strong nervous system, because you got to have a strong nervous system. When the crown chakra opens, right, you got to have a stable nervous system, because if you don't have without a stable nervous system, the person could, lose, they could lose control of their mind, right? So you have to stay in control of your mind, right? You got to stay balanced between two dimensions of reality, the spiritual as well as the physical, right? Imagine if one would, everything they dream, their dreams would take place during the time they're awake, right? That would be very, very challenging for the individual to maintain balance. So you need that, just as, you have the sleep to, let's say what the Australians, the Aborigines call the dream time. You need that DMT, like sleep, right? Comparable to sleep, let's say, in order to maintain a stable mind when the crown chakra opens, right? And your consciousness now enters the higher uh, your thoughts, enter the higher dimension of consciousness that most will perceive, most who do not have an open crown chakra, will perceive those who do have an open crown chakra as crazy, insane, because it will be stuff they never heard of, and it's natural. Just as what I'm saying about Christianity is a bastard religion. That sounds crazy. It sounds a lot of crazy. But the truth of the matter is, it is. Because there's only, let's say, there's one religion. There's one, and I don't mean to do that, but there's one religion, right? One. And that's to believe in the Creator, right? That's one only religion, to believe in the Creator, right? To believe in your Creator, and who is your Creator, right? That's up to, he's Allah, but that's up to you to find out, and okay, and so what I'm trying to say is all the prophets believed in the same religion. I mean, the same spirituality. Religion is this organization of consciousness. Just like you go to accounting, you're going to be an accountant, you got to learn the structure of it. You're going to be a mathematician, you got to learn the structure of it. Everything has structure in the universe, just like the atomic structure, just like your body, just like your mind, just like your soul. Everything has structure. Well, spirituality is structured in what they call religion. That is spiritual knowledge. Religion is spiritual knowledge, and no man has control over spiritual knowledge. Just like what I love about Islam, when you go to the mosque, they give a lecture, but they don't necessarily guide, your life. Let me see. Is that what I want to say? No. Yeah. You basically have to teach yourself. You have to teach yourself. With the help of Allah. This is where I want to go. You have an imam, right? That's the one who gives the lectures at the mosque and all these type of stuff. Takes care of the mosque, and some call it the Jama. Mosque is the same thing. The temple, for some people, just like the Dome of the Rock is also the Temple of the Mount, right? Okay, but anyway, you go straight to Allah. You don't have to go to the pastor. You don't have to go to the prophet. No, you respect the prophet, but you don't worship the prophet. You honor the prophet. You don't worship him. You only worship Allah. You don't need a pope. You don't need him to pray over you. You don't need all that stuff. You go straight to Allah. That's what I like. You don't need no intercession. There's no intercession. Okay? So that's what I like about Islam. And you teach yourself. You do your studying. That's between you and Allah. Not you, the pastor, the pope, or Jesus, and none of that. No, you don't do that. You go straight to Allah. Okay? Okay, so anyway, so we went there, and we talked about Adam. Okay. So now you can see, and even as it relates to, your communication with Allah, the Creator, right? Your Creator, in that usurpation of Judaism, what did he say? Have no God but, God. Have no God before me. What does Islam say? Ashhadu la ilaha illallah Muhammad Rasulullah. What does that mean? There is no God but Allah. So Judaism and Christianity, Judaism and Islam is basically saying the same thing. Have no God other than me. Worship no idols. We can't draw pictures of the prophets. No. Can't even have pictures of yourself hanging in the house, right? Okay, so there's no intercession. It's between you and God, you and Allah, you and him. That's spirituality. Organized, as religion. That's a structure. Okay? Okay, so now what did we say? Oh, and they gave that to the Hebrew Israelites they enslaved, right? They gave them that bastard religion that was to take over. They wanted to take over the world by usurping Islam and Judaism. That was their ploy, to usurp Islam and Judaism and to try to take over the world. Okay? Okay. Now, and again, I know I'm triggering. I'm triggering a lot of you. And probably unfriend me, but hey, you do what you got to do. Handle your business. But that ain't gonna change nothing. It just ain't. Anyway, so and I apologize if you're being triggered, but that's not my intention. It's just to say the reality of the situation, because I do love you and I do care. I want, mashallah subhanahu wa ta'ala, I want the best for you because I know how much I love knowing the truth, and I know how much I love Islam, and I know how much Allah does for me, so anyway, so they want, to usurp Christianity. They want to use Christianity to take over the whole world, and that's the Antichrist. That's the real religion of the Antichrist, right? And the head of the Christian church is the Antichrist, but it's Zionism now, because from what I understand, what's his name, Bergoglio, Francis, what did he say? From what I heard, I watched the video, and somebody said, he said to the Zionists, don't go using the church to claim, don't go using the church to claim divinity or relevance, validity of their occupation of the Holy Land. That's what I heard. It was said that Bergoglio said to the Zionists, don't use Christianity to validate their occupation of the Holy Land or their spiritual superiority over others, which is that's what the Christianity does, right? Okay. But in that respect, that was good to say. Okay. So now, let's say the Hebrew Israelites taking on Christianity, they're doing stuff that is opposed to their religion, their theology, right? Their spirituality. I won't say theology, but their spirituality. They're taking a false god. They're taking a false. Well, first and foremost, they're taking a false god. Then they're taking a false, basically, perception of spirituality, right? And they have no identity, right? They have no identity. So they were to be completely lost in the wilderness with no way to help them. And you think that ain't cruel? You think that ain't cruel? I'm not saying you do, but there are those who don't. There are those who don't think it's cruel, and they say, they don't give a damn whether they don't want, my community, my brothers, Hebrew Israelites too, who are call themselves Black or Foundational Americans, right? They don't want them to get reparations. They try to go against that, but you know what? It's not your choice. It's entitled. We're entitled to reparations. We're entitled to respect. Our respect. Right? Because if it were done to you, you'd be fucking pissed. You'd be hella damn pissed. I mean, look, like I said, going back to Cleopatra, look what happened when Jada Pinkett Smith said Cleopatra is black. Right? But nobody talks about, what's his name, Hefner, not, the one who made, they made the movie with Moses and the Pharaohs and Elizabeth Taylor. Really? Nobody said nothing about that. Nobody said nothing about the white Jesus. right? Nobody said nothing about the Arabs claiming Egyptian, to be the Egyptians. Nobody said nothing about that, right? But soon black people, Hebrew Israelites say, oh, Foundation Americans say, oh, Cleopatra's black. Oh my God. You want to claim our queens. You want to come for our royalty. Bitch, they ain't your royalty. And I know I'm responding to the way you attacked us. They ain't your royalty. They're my ancestors. They're Hebrew, they're DMT, richly melanated of Alkebu land. Okay? More akin to the Sudanese, Nubian ancestors of mine. Okay? So get off that high horse. It's not yours. It's mine. And I claim it. Alhamdulillah. I am a Kimite. I am an Egyptian. Whether you like it or not, I am, and I claim it. Not only for myself, my children, my nieces, my nephews, I claim it. My ancestors. From cultural appropriating hacks. Cultural appropriating hacks. And you know something else? The only way the world is going to get better, if we, as a Hebrew Israelite, stand in our dignity. If the root don't get it right, the tree is going to be effed up. So if we are the root, then we got to get it right. We got to stand in our dignity. And not only that, but we got to prepare for leadership. We got to prepare for leadership because guess what? Let's go to video 4.